Nightwing2303 from SneakerFiles.com. Today we're coming at you with another performance review. Today's review is on the Nike KD3, Kevin Durant's third signature sneaker. So without wasting too much of your time, let's get right into it. Okay, so as usual, we're going to start off with the bottom of the shoe here. The traction base on this shoe is absolutely amazing. There's absolutely zero complaints. The entire thing, top to bottom, as you can see, is the herringbone traction pattern. One thing is, usually I don't like the outrigger having non-herringbone or just basic grooves in here, but the way that they implemented it in this particular sneaker, I actually really liked it, and I wouldn't mind seeing this style again in future shoes. The problem with the outrigger traction on things like the Hyperfuse and the LeBron 8 is that the grooves here were extremely wide. So the rubber it was like really thick, and it wasn't flexible at all. It was just basically another piece of rubber with some sort of design put in there, whereas these are very thin very thin grooves. So I don't know if you're going to be able to hear that, but all of this stuff really moves, and that made it so that when you were running, it would just grip on the court solidly. It was just absolutely amazing. I have zero complaints with the traction. It runs all the way up to the exterior of the shoe, on the interior part of the forefoot, and again all the way to the heel. So traction on this shoe, zero complaints. Absolutely fantastic. Best traction I've had on a shoe since the Kobe 4. Okay, so as far as cushion goes, the setup is something that we've been used to seeing as far as what's been placed on Nike's lesser models or non-signatures, where there is just a Zoom bag right in the forefoot there. I don't know if you can see that, but it says Zoom, and that is the Zoom bag right underneath the plastic there. It is a full-length Zoom bag, so from each side it covers everything, and then the rest of the shoe is Phylon. The cushion in the forefoot was fine. There was no problems with it whatsoever. The cushion in the heel wasn't so bad. There is a notch cut out of the heel of the shoe, much like what you would see on a running shoe. So when you have that heel strike movement, this is supposed to compress inside, so it gives you a little bit of a break in there on your heel. The only downside, and this is the entire downside to, or this is the only downside to the entire shoe, is the shoe's construction as far as the midsole outsole goes. It's the only thing that I didn't like, and it made it to where it was a little bit uncomfortable to wear in the long term, as far as the longer that you're on court, the heavier it kind of felt. And it's due to the solid rubber outsole. Usually you're going to have something right here in the front, which this is. It's a basic construction, then you have it a little bit more thinned out in the center of the foot, and then typically it just kind of like wraps right around the heel and is glued on to the Phylon. This one, it's kind of hard to tell because this is an all black version of this shoe, but there's a little like a line groove right here. This section from this part of the line to this part of the line, that's all Phylon. So all of this here, that's all solid rubber. So when your heel strike is on the ground, it's like you're wearing a low cut boot. There was little give right in the heel impact, and for a lot of shoes, this kind of like reminds me of like a 90s shoe, where a lot of 90s shoes were built like that. Well, I'll show two different versions. So we got these guys right here. Now these were all released, or these two were released in the 90s. You can see that the Jumpman Pro does the same exact thing as the KD3. The main difference is that the KD's rubber outsole is a lot thicker than the Jumpman Pro, but you still had that same effect where it kind of felt like a boot. again, very 90s style as far as you know, basketball sneakers were concerned, and you know, even the Jordan 12, I believe, had the same exact thing. It was just a lot thinner right here. This is even thinner, but this is solid rubber here. But you have Phylon on each side, much like the Zoom Hyperfuse. So when your heel when your heel was impacting the floor, it would really compress. You're usually striking right on the outside of the heel first and then rolling down. So when that happens, at least this compresses, which is nice. Whereas this one was just solid rubber, and it, like I said, it felt like a boot. Even when you have something as thick as the Jordan 2010, it's all Phylon, so it's all compression. You can probably even see some of the wrinkles inside or on the Phylon there, so you could tell where it kind of breaks in when you're squishing down on it. So that's the only downside to the KD3, in my opinion, was just the overall construction of the midsole and outsole. Just felt a little clunky for me. It was a little heel heavy, and you know, other than that, it was still a smooth ride. It just, the heel to toe transition just kind of wore on your legs as time went on when you were on the court. So the upper of the shoe is mostly a, I can't really tell because it's all black, but it looks like it might be a synthetic leather. It's pretty much everywhere except for on the side panels, where this particular one is a nylon type material, and same with on the interior panel there. And then you have a small strip of fly wire right on the forefoot here. The shoe not only fit perfectly, but it was like, it's built like a tank. I mean, I couldn't mess these up. There's barely any creases in there. The scuffs that are on there you probably won't be able to see. The swoosh took a little bit of a beating, but you know, this shoe held up very well. I could probably pull these off casually and nobody would ever notice that I had played basketball in them, whereas most of my shoes end up looking like they're trash by the time I'm done with them. So, you know, from a durability standpoint, on the material itself, very nice. The fit was awesome. The laces weren't too low, so when they were tied up all together, it just, you know, perfectly conformed to your foot. This area really hugged your forefoot, so there wasn't that roll feeling. And then you can even customize the fit in the midfoot area with this extra little piece of material here. I personally used the top two because I didn't have a problem, but if you have a lower arch maybe, or some like really thin or flat feet, you can always go with the second eyelet there, and it'll really pull and contain your foot a lot better, especially in the arch area. The collar lining and the collar cut, it's somewhat of a low cut, and there is no traditional heel cup on here like something that you'd see on a Kobe shoe, but it worked just as well, if not better. The way that it was cut was perfect. It wrapped your ankle, and then the height of the back of the collar really kept your heel in place. And then there is even, I'm really not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but inside the shoe there are heel notches. They're very small, but they are in there. And so all of that stuff together really contain your foot perfectly. And you know, like I said, the fit on this was just, it was phenomenal. It was an overall great shoe as far as the fit is concerned. So as far as the breathability and ventilation goes, to be perfectly honest, it kind of sucked. All you really had was some minor perforations here on the toe box area, and then you have your mesh tongue, but on the inside of the tongue it was a thicker material, which ended up diminishing any type of breathability function that mesh would provide. Plus there was a layer of this foam in between it right here, so you know, the ventilation just, it was mediocre. Like I said earlier, this really reminds me of a 90s shoe. This is kind of built just like an older style shoe from the 90s, and it plays that way as well. So you know, but that's pretty much it. Not much to go over. as far as the ventilation or breathability is concerned. So my overall thoughts on the shoe, I think it retailed for about $88 or so. I actually picked these up at Nordstrom Rack for $40, so for a $40 purchase it was just absolutely perfect. Pretty much any player can wear this shoe. There's enough traction on the bottom to cover anyone's movements, no matter which direction they're going in. It's sturdy and stable enough for a bigger player as well, and then the upper is extremely durable and form-fitting to your foot. So like I said, this is a very versatile shoe right here. Only downside was the clunkiness of the heel, where it was kind of boot-like, but you know, forefoot cushion was great. Heel cushion could have been a little bit better, and the fit was just fantastic. So overall, I'd have to say that this shoe, I'd actually recommend it. Not if you're going to be playing for long periods of time, but I'd recommend it if you're going to be playing in like a high school game or a regulated game. That way, you know, you take breaks and things like that, so you kind of get over the clunkiness of the heel. When I played in them, I played in them for about 3 to 4 hours at a time, and that was a little too much. So you know, my legs started getting real heavy and things like that, and it was kind of a bummer. But price-wise, you can get these on sale pretty much anywhere now, and you know, I'd actually say go for it, because you get a lot of bang for your buck in this shoe. And as you can see here, besides a few creases and some minor scuff marks, the shoe's going to last you quite some time, whether you play with them indoor or outdoor. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed the review on the Nike KD3. And please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as check out SneakerFiles.com. You can also check out my personal site, which is nightwing2303.com. It's solely based on performance sneakers, and then random things like my new pickups and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it, and